Listen, I know it's been a while since I've talked about Chainsaw Man, but have you ever read a series or watched an anime where something happens and it changes the entire series? That's how I felt about this volume. Let's talk about Chainsaw Man. Okay, so we start off. Denji is dealing with. Well, actually, one more thing before we get started. I can't talk about this volume without spoiling this volume. So, if you're not caught up, stop, go read Chainsaw Man, past volume 10, come back to this video, because if you liked it as much as I did, you are going to want to talk about it in the comments below with me. This volume, I loved it. Loved it. So yeah, this is going to be spoilers. Also, I have to spoil the end of volume 9 as well. So, if you are not up to this volume, leave. Hey, come back though. Like leave for a little bit. But when you get caught up, come back. Well, I'll be here. This series is something else. And there's only one volume left. Okay, now we can start. Okay, so this volume immediately starts off with Denji dealing with Aki's death because he killed him. And he's trying to struggle like, was it the right decision? I had no choice. And Aki actually left a lot of his money to Denji, which him and Power end up getting like an apartment and playing video games when they weren't working. But then he goes out to get some food and he starts to think like, I killed him. And he's really struggling with this. Like, you can see that he is broken, which is very important for what's to come up and what the rest of this volume is. He is broken. And when he's laying on this bench, when he won a free ice cream, hey, won a free ice cream, that's good. Makima shows up, takes him back to her house. I want to reread this entire series because of Makima's character. It's kind of crazy. So when they're at her house, they have a bunch of dogs, and he's like, she's trying to warm up because she's like, cold hands, you know, makes you feel bad. She's trying to give him some tea, and he's like petting all these dogs, and he's like, this is the greatest place on earth. And he asked to be one of Makima's dogs. Now, I do have a question for you guys, because I was thinking this, but I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Did she control him to think that way? Or is he so broken that he actually really wants it? Because I'm leaning more towards the side that he actually really wants it. Especially when she talks about, I did this on purpose. Like, you were still happy living in poverty. But I wanted to give you a job. Give you a family. Aki, a big brother. Power, the bratty little sister that you never had. Oh, because she wanted to break him and take everything away from him. And she does that because once Denji asks her, can I be your dog? And starts obeying everything she says. A knock comes at the door. Oh, this is... I did not see... I mean, I saw it coming when they were setting it up, but I would have never thought a volume, 2 volumes ago, that this would happen. She was like, it's Power at the door. I want you to open it, Denji. And Denji's like, yeah, she's going to have a cake, and she's going to be standing at this door, because it's my 17th birthday tomorrow. And Makima says, I want you to be the one to open the door and kill Power. And he opens the door. Power is standing there. And Makima blows her in half. What? And you just see Denji crumble. Like I said, he's so broken. It was such a bold move to do that to one of the main characters of this series. I have to just give props. Oh! Did not see it coming. And after this, Denji is following her orders still. And that's why I land on, I think she is controlling him. But is she controlling him? Is she not controlling him? I don't know. But then she takes Denji to work, and it's kind of a really cool panel where they're walking and everyone that kind of was in control of protecting Denji is kind of lined up on this wall. There was a lot of striking images in this volume. Like stuff that I would put up there with some of the best art in manga today, currently. For sure, currently. Maybe even like some of the classic. For the story it was telling in this volume, the art elevated it, which is, I think, the best thing you can say about artwork in a manga. But when they're in this building, Kishibe, who's been wary of her this entire time, shoots a bazooka or rocket launch. It explodes the side of the building, right? They are coming for Makima and Denji. So much so that a bunch of agents sacrifice themselves to summon the Hell Devil. That's right. You correct. Correct. You heard me correct. They sacrifice themselves to summon a Hell Devil. And Makima says, Chainsaw, save me. And again, he is, I still think, under her control. Or maybe he's just given up so much, like she said. I think it's so powerful what she said of, I wanted to give you a better life just to take it away from you. That is one of the best antagonists and motivations that I have heard in a manga in a good long time. But Chainsaw Man takes care of that devil, honestly, with no problem. And we're brought back to Makima and Kishibe. And then she gives the backstory for the Chainsaw Devil. The devil that is feared by all the other devils. Because when he eats them, they vanish. It's like it never happened. And then she starts talking about, like, AIDS and the Nazis, World War II. He's eaten all this devil and made people forget. She's like, even me who can control things, I have forgotten what this stuff is. It amps up Denji's power and Chainsaw Man's power to the next level. And to do it at the second to last volume is crazy. Then we get images of him just destroying devils. And that's why in, I think it was like 3 volumes back when they went to hell, they heard the vroom of a chainsaw, because it is true. Like, he is kind of the executioner of devils. I do like when he's resurrected and comes back, he's got like this intestine as basically a cape now around his neck. Like, and this is what we're about to get to. This manga's way of doing this really bloody action, just super intense stuff, and then offset it with like, it's an intestine, but it's a cape now. Or the scenes we're about to get to where Chainsaw Man is getting memories of Denji, being like, oh, I really want to try a hamburger that's not rotten. And he's at a hamburger stand after saving Makima from Kishibe. The family burger, because they're family. And I can't remember, I feel like the was someone we've met before. I just can't remember her name, and they never say it in this volume. And I've literally just got done reading this volume and turned on this camera. So I'm so sorry, I can't remember her name. Let me know down below what her name is, because I know we've met her before. I want to say like the Halloween devil, but I'm probably wrong. Lettuce, tomato, cheese, bun, hamburger, family burger. But he sits down at this table and he can't speak, so it's just like rooms that are coming out, and he's just waiting. Just like, I really want a burger. If I could get a burger. And the girl that I know we have met before keeps tripping. And he keeps taking out like members of the family burger, because they're family. And so they'll do the lettuce, tomato, cheese, bun, hamburger, but then it's it's like they didn't make it, so then it's just tomato, cheese, bun, burger. Then it's tomato, cheese, bun, Like, it is a special thing to be able to pull off something that a gruesome thing is happening, but to play it in a lighthearted, that doesn't seem like the right word, like a fun, also not the right word. A less serious tone when something super serious and messed up is happening. Like, it takes a very talented person to walk that fine line, and he absolutely did it, especially in this volume. He's done it throughout the series, but this volume, it was... Then he gets a flashback about taking on a date. So he takes the girl on a date. Well, he carries a girl by his cape on a date, and they play like DDR. But then he disappears and goes on a rooftop. Makima's there. And she's like, oh, we've been found out. And then the Special Division 5, the Weapon Devils, who actually Chainsaw has apparently eaten and erased from time, but yet they're still there. They're the exception to his rule. So, again, this is the second to last volume, the last chapter in this volume. I wonder if they go into it in the last volume, or they just let it exist. Because then the last volume is freaking action on top of action. He's fighting these people. He gets shot into space by Makima. He rips his own hearts out. Looks like throws it towards the earth because he's holding his breath. Then comets himself back to earth. I know what you're thinking to yourself. You're being dramatic. No. I'm not exaggerating. It's not dramatic. That's what happens. It was incredible. And we end with Chainsaw Man when he comets back to Earth from space after ripping out his own heart. So good. The final image is a double page where he is cut through Makima and the Special Division 5. Now on to the last volume. That's how it ends. I should have waited for the other volume to come out. I know I could read it on the app, I get that, but it's kind of fun going physical to physical releases. I don't know. Like, I know I could find out right now. It's not as fun to me. But yeah, that was volume 10 of Chainsaw Man. I have so many thoughts. But really, I think it boils down to this. It is incredible that... I know I've said incredible so much. I'm sorry. But it was incredible. Like, I'm sorry, but it's right. Excellent. Super. Mind-blowing. A lot of these words can describe volume 10 of Chainsaw Man. But I think it boils down to, as a person that is pretty new into anime and manga, like my first year, almost a year of really consuming this kind of content, I haven't had a story, because I'm going to be completely honest with you, I know I've done 3 or 4 Chainsaw Man reviews. It's a good series. It's a really good series. But I wasn't head over heels that most people were when it first started coming out. But you read a volume like this and it changes everything. It makes me want to reread this series, and I think it elevates the entire series in one volume. That's hard to do. That is hard to do. And especially as someone that really hasn't experienced that, where I feel like this 11 volume story, volume 10 changes everything about volume 1 through 9. And that's what makes it so exciting. Because of this character motivation by Makima and re-examining Denji and Power and Aki's relationship through the series and watching the manipulation happen to him, you gotta reread the series. Like, I have to reread the series. And that's what, to me, makes this volume the best volume that Chainsaw Man has released to date, physically. Because it might have elevated this entire series into being great. I don't know, I've never experienced a switch personally like I have with Chainsaw Man, that I believe it has gone from good. I think that it will be remembered. It'll become a classic. That's the best way for me to describe it. And it being my first experience, I was reading this volume just being like, what? No, you're kidding! Especially having his dad, where Denji was actually the one that killed his dad, and the people covered up because they wouldn't get money that way. Finding little stuff out about Denji it changes his character too, and makes you want to start from the beginning and be like, okay, now that I really know who these characters are, let me look at all the nuances that has happened. And it's just so excited. It makes me so excited. I'm so giddy, if you could not tell. Giddy? Who uses giddy, man? I am giddy, though. But I know I haven't done a Chainsaw Man review in a long time. But just so you know, I have been keeping up. And I did record a Volume 9 review. Hopefully, this video is in focus. Oh, that'd be a bummer. But yeah, I have been keeping up with Chainsaw Man, and it just upgraded so much, in my opinion. And it's crazy that it's the second to last volume. What is the last volume gonna be like if this was the second to last volume? That is very exciting. Ugh. But yeah, I cannot wait for the last volume of Chainsaw Man, even though it's like 3 months away. I know what you're saying. Read on the listen. I might. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this review. As always, thank you so much for watching until the end of the video. It means the world to me. Your support, as always, like I say in every video, you guys are incredible. Let me know what you thought about this volume down below, because I need people to talk about it with. I don't know a single person reading Chainsaw Man currently right now, and it's sad. Or if you've read the chapters, don't spoil the last volume. Just up to these chapters, please, please. But yeah, thank you for watching. And as always, I will see you next time.